Greetings everyone, my name is Enterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Make a Good Mega Man Level Contest 2, or MACML 2 for short. During the last part, I entered the Tier 4 station and completed the first 4 levels. In between this and the previous part, I also bought the base costume from the costume shop, which costed about 100 bolts. So in this part, I'll hopefully be completing Tier 4, but we'll see how big the levels get. So let's begin with this level. In 54th place is Orbital Station by RadzPrower, with an average score of 25.0. So at last, we're in the solid average tier of the levels. So 1 energy element and 4 noble nickels. So we're gonna have quite a bit of an area to explore. Oh neat, the moon team from DuckTales ran yes. And we have a skip teleporter. That's not a good sign. Then again, Forgotten Fortress had a skip teleporter as well, but I like that stage. Oh. Thanks for the heads up, I suppose. So here we go, we're in I believe we're in space. We have the Starman tile set after all. I see something down there. You tried to hide that noble nickel from me, but I can see its sparkles. Slash Claw should do this one in. There we go. If you paid careful attention, you would see the sparkles there of the first noble nickel, so that was easy. Well, thank you, Eddie. I guess you exited from the shop. And I can see we're in space as well. This is a space station. We don't have space gravities just yet, though. But judging by the stage, we'll eventually have it. Oh, I see what they want me to do here. Gotta be a little bit careful. But by doing so, I now unlock the usage of the wire adapter. I didn't realize in these stages in MACML 2, you're allowed to actually enable items by picking it up. Weapon pickups will be another nice addition to something in Mega Maker. But enough of that, back to this stage. At least we're being slowly introduced to the new enemies in the start. What just happened there? What am I getting pulled in by? Oh, that's... the warning signal indicates here that the shuttle doors have been opened, so I'm being pulled into space. Wait a minute, I think there's something on the other side. Of course, there was a noble nickel there. It was expected. Thank goodness the sound stopped and... I was holding hard left there and I still died. Where is this again? That was an odd glitch, I think. You're not supposed to die there, so that was strange. But getting the wire adapter really made this a little bit easier to get the second noble nickel. There are 2 left though, so I gotta be careful. Though that sound effect is rather annoying, and I wish it was turned down because it's overpowering all the other sound effects and music of the stage. Oh no. That room is rather glitchy as you can see there, because I tried holding hard left and right, but whenever I jumped I immediately lost control of my character. I guess that's what they meant by soft locking. And we don't have gravity. I mean, we still have normal gravity here. What's going on? I thought we lost gravity. And I get the feeling there's... oh yeah, there are alternate paths to the stage, so I will have to re-go through this. There's only 1 exit though, so I suppose that's it. But I do like the aesthetic of the stage. It's quite beautiful. I would just like that warning sound effect to be reduced in volume. Oh neat, and also we reverse gravity and shift back into gravity in other places. That's quite a neat gimmick actually, and we can't really see where we're gonna switch gravity. You need to constantly hold left here, otherwise you'll just die. I think the windows indicate when you're going to switch directions. I see a noble nickel over there. I wonder... I can't reach it there. That's an alternate pathway, so I will need to replay the stage. I'm taking the upper route just to be sure. Okay, so now we're taking in spikes, and I completely circumvented the challenge. Is that saying anti-blade or something, like anti-slash claw or anti-triple blade? Oh, and we have the ring from Ringman stage as the boss fight. Well, that's different. It's a lot more durable, that's for sure. Oh, I can't keep hitting... Dodging it's gonna be a slight problem. As you keep seeing, because it keeps deflecting all my shots. Well, of course, because this was added by a contestant, I will not use special weapons. Although I think its weakness would be its slash claw, but, well, I guess we'll find out in the future. In the arena. So that was the first pad of Orbital Station, but we are missing 2 noble nickels, so I will re-go through it. And I have a hunch where the alternate pathway is. Wow, that previous room soft-locked on me 3 times. I guess that's why the devs mentioned it. I guess the implementation of zero gravity in this level is rather spotty. Let's hope that I don't get soft-locked in this stage, that would be really unfortunate. And there was the 3rd noble nickel. Oh, okay, there are some really finicky interactions with enemies here. Well, I'm back in this room. Let's hope that it doesn't glitch again. It seems that the introduction or implementation of zero gravity in this level is rather spotty. That's why the devs put the skip teleporter. And, of course, even if I hold left or right here, I can't change my direction because I immediately lose control of my acceleration. At least there's a checkpoint right over here, so it isn't as bad. Except now we have stuff like this. Goody. Thanks, game? If I hold down A, I can fly down a lot further and... Okay, now we have a slow elevator ride. I totally don't think that's how you were intended to do it by the level designer, but concerning how glitchy that zero gravity segment is, I don't trust it doing it the right way. Now I have to avoid these instant death spikes, I suppose. And the slow elevator ride, with the nice music. I guess that's why I was glitching out in that initial room as you saw in my first playthrough of the stage. Even then, I still needed 2 jump cuts, one for first getting the noble nickel, and then again for getting back there because I soft-locked over there. And because of all those glitches, I believed it brung down the stage quite a bit. If it didn't soft-lock in that area, I suppose it would have gotten a score of 5 or higher, because it's a pretty nice stage overall. It's just a zero gravity segment over there, where you don't have control of your character, which brings down the stage for me, and probably for the judges. But that should be it then. We have all 4 noble nickels. So let's see what the judges have to say about Orbital Station. Yeah, and these areas were unmarked, because if you go right of the initial area where you start losing control of your character, it stops existing. And also there are invisible platforms that flip gravity. Oh, I just guessed over here, so I was rather lucky. I was suspicious because of the fact there was an extra boss door, and also because there was the 4th noble nickel I spied earlier. I don't know where the extra alternate pathway connected to the first pathway though, so I guess I'll have to pay another visit to the stage. But I'd rather not. I got all that I wanted, and I suppose I won't be able to access it because it's too glitchy. If only the zero gravity physics were a bit better introduced, and they were less glitchy, and so you wouldn't get soft-locked or something. At least the boss fight was fun. It was a stronger ring. That's the main thing that brings the stage down, not properly introducing the gimmicks, especially zero gravity stuff, and not showing where the gravity is being flipped. Even if the gravity randomly flipped, it wasn't properly introduced to the player either. Also, the glitchy zero gravity. Guriri really liked it though. I Honestly, this is a 20 out of 50 for me, mainly because of the glitches and improper gimmick introduction. Sorry, Guri. But it's quite a shame, really. The zero-gravity gimmick could be taken quite farther. It seems rather interesting, but the execution is rather bad. It really needed more testing. Okay then, Anchor, I don't know what that's a reference to. Oh, that's why the air conditioning's so good. In 53rd place is Shovel Knight by Dylan Labiuk with a score of 25.4. So it has 1 energy element and 5 noble nickels, so let's see what this stage has to offer. And judging by the tile set, this is the plains/intro stage from Shovel Knight, so I suppose this stage will consist of several challenge segments based off of each of the stages in Shovel Knight. And this info box basically tells us. So a series of mini challenges using the aesthetics. What? That met looks really off, actually. Oh, that's the slime met, based off the slime enemies in Shovel Knight. Clever. What? I somehow slipped off the platform there. Strange. Well, it's just a minor blemish, I'll just blame it on the engine. Also, the tiling on the background, especially with the clouds, looks a little bit messed up. That may be just me, though. Oh neat, we have the shovel blocks that we need to break open manually. That's neat. At least there are no holes in this guts lift, that's really appreciated. I wonder if we're going to be fighting a dragon mini boss. Well, instead we fight the gumball machine, so I believe that's a close enough approximation. I spy a ladder over there. Let's see where it takes us to. Ah, the first noble nickel, and we have the Black Knight. The Cerulean Coward Shovel Knight. I suppose we're going to be fighting Shovel Knight at the end of this stage. As I mentioned in the previous part, I don't remember most of the levels in Tier 4 outside of 2 levels. And for the second level, it's only 1 segment. And I suppose that each of the noble nickels are going to be hidden in these somewhat hidden areas. Fine with me. A bit of a spike jump over here. And we're taking out this segment using the checkpoint, and we're in Plague Knight segment, I suppose. I never really played Shovel Knight. I only watched the playthrough by Roam Mitral, so that's where all my knowledge comes from. Now we have the Firebar segment. Although in Plague Knight, I believe that when you walked over the platforms they would explode instead. Wait a minute. I spy a hole down there. No? How do you access that? That's how you do it. I knew there was going to be a secret over there because it looked out of place. Sorry, Plague Knight, but I will take your noble nickel. And we're introduced to the acid goblets over here, and I believe that's a hole. And it also has the same music as the original Plague Knight stage. So we gotta keep sliding through here so we don't end up getting embedded into the spikes. That's a neat challenge, actually. Neat way of using these cloud platforms. A lot better than what in Mega Man Endless. Well, the cloud platforms in Mega Man Endless are fine. It's just that the stages that they were used in were rather difficult. And now we have the rain segment. I don't remember if the original stage had it. That's 2 segments down. Now on to Mole Knight. Oh no. The fire stage of the game, and now we're being in a chase segment. There would be a mini-boss chasing us to the left, I think. And we have the big fish enemies trying to eat us too. Gotta be careful so we don't destroy the ground though. Thankfully there aren't that many enemies, so it isn't too bad. Still get hit by that tackle fire. Oh, I thought that was solid ground there. In fact, it's lava. Because it wasn't animated, I thought it was solid rock, but in reality it's instant death lava. Okay then, at least the checkpoint is right over there. Yeah, this should be animated. It'll make it a lot clearer that it's actually dangerous. Like here, and when it's on the ground, it's obvious it's dangerous. but here not so much. Bouncy platforms, I think the original Mole Knight stage did have it. Aha, you were going to hide that third one over there. Not really, I'm just trying to explore this festival and some person decided to build a simulation of Shovel Knight. Although these aren't actually NPCs for some reason. I remember some earlier stages like Gigavolt Man actually programmed in NPCs, but here we just have text boxes. And now we have Treasure Knight stage, I believe. It's a water stage and... okay, we somehow jump out of the water here. It doesn't look like we can jump out of it here. After all, this is a water stage. And we're under the sea in a ship, so I don't see why we should be able to jump out of it here. That was close. I saw a teleporter up there. Aha, there's something hidden up there. There. I don't think I can access it this way, so I'll just ignore it and go to the left. I think in order to progress with the stage you have to go to the right, but I'd rather take left to see what secrets it has to offer. The background here looks really messed up actually. It doesn't look at all like the original game. Sure, the tile set's the same, but it just seems like it's not being tiled correctly. And there's the fourth Noble Nickel, and that foreground tile look camouflages itself well with the background. Sorry, Treasure Knight. Oh, and that's where the teleporter takes us to. That makes a lot of sense. I guess we need to stay on the top here. And we're being attacked by penguins, and we're being on ice blocks. Gotta be a little bit careful here so we don't end up falling into the abyss. Darn, I missed the jump over there. And now we have to go to the right, it seems. Wow, the tile set's really messed up here. It doesn't look at all like undersea rocks, it looks really jumbled. I should be utilizing special weapons more here, especially with all the penguins. And considering that these one-shot the penguins, it's even better. I could easily just farm for bolts here for quite a while because of all the weapon drops, and because I have the converter. But of course it's time to proceed onwards with the stage. Instead I'll just use a super arrow in that segment. Or I'll just do this instead. Easy button. So now time to proceed onwards to the next segment. And now we have Spectre Knight stage, I believe. I wonder if we're gonna have the Darkness segment or something. And I get the feeling there are some extra secrets of this stage that I'm missing. Not just the Noble Nickels, but other stuff too. Maybe I'll look into the stage more off screen, and then I'll post my findings in the next part. Because I get the strong impression there's something extra about this stage. It just feels like it because of all the secrets and other stuff. Maybe some extra NPCs or something? That would be neat to find. There's a Shiki over there. Thank you. We have invisible platforms which are marked by all of these gyres. And I've completely messed that one up because I need to go forward more. It's not too bad though because I infinitely respawn. And again, I forgot to hold right. At least I know there's a secret over there. There's bound to be the fifth Noble Nickel. And I was right. Why hello there, Spectre Knight. Do we count robots as living beings? Well, I suppose this is Mega Man, so robots are counted as sort of living. I wouldn't count them as truly living until Mega Man X though. That's a lot of hologram machines. I suppose this is to protect against us using the bees or Hornet Chaser in order to destroy them and make the segment a lot easier. Thankfully there's no holes, so this is not that bad. We do have the Octopus mini-boss. Now we're done with this segment and we're in Polar Knight segment. Well, there's no way of proceeding other than going on this jet sled segment, or sled segment. So it's time for the first, or technically second if you count the first one as being Rush City of the sliding segment. Jet sliding. From Mega Man 8 we have the jump and slide monitors, which became infamous because of their odd voices. But neat, were you actually flipping around gravity? I'm not sure how I'll dodge that, but I think it's possible. This damage boosting off of everything. Surprise spikes over there. And I guess this is the end of the stage. Shovel Knight's not fighting us. I sympathize with you, Dylan. When I was creating Conveyor Mayhem, I had to cut out 1 or 2 attacks from Crusher Joe, as well as several other pathways, or at least one other pathway. The third pathway would have been more fleshed out if I had more time. So I totally understand what you mean. Life is more important after all. I have a hunch there's something on the right. And I was right. And this is an advertisement for the YouTube channel. I'm not sure how you'll type it in that easily. You can't copy and paste it after all. Oh, and here are the rest of the Order of No Quarter members. In this case, it's Propeller Knight. Sorry, you didn't get a level. I was totally expecting Propeller Knight, Tinker Knight, and King Knight to actually have segments in this level, but apparently not. I suppose it would have made the level stretch out for a lot longer, so that's why it was made. Thank you, Dylan. I don't recall playtesting your level. I suppose I helped you a little bit with some of the coding sometime. I don't recall, but thanks anyway. I hope the help helped you enough. So let's talk with Shovel Knight and see what he has to say. He's basically saying, I surrender. Well, to be fair, Shovel Knight is not the person we'd usually fight, and considering he fought the other members of Order of No Quarter, I suppose Shovel Knight would understand that we aren't enemies. There would be an easy justification for saying that we don't need to fight Shovel Knight that way, but I liked the stage. It was much better than the previous one. And I liked how each segment or section tried mimicking the original Order of No Quarter night stages from Shovel Knight. So it's at least a 25 or 30 out of 50 for me, at least a 25. At the very least 25, much better than Orbital Station, a lot less frustrating and glitchy. Thankfully that was fixed as well. And yes, I think the Noble Nickels were well hidden. They were not too out of the way, and as long as you paid attention to the stage, you were able to find them pretty well. Mole Knight's one wasn't that bad. You just needed to climb that rope. Sorry, Windman, but your wind turbines are really good. Plus, your Windstorm and Mega Maker is really powerful. Well, it's time to exit the subway car and enter the right side of the station. And on to the next stage. Poorly named level by Yoshiatom, with a score of 25.6. 1 Noble Nickel and... one energy element and 3 Noble Nickels, so let's see what it has to offer. It also has a skip teleporter, not a good sign. I understand why the first stage in this part, that being Orbital Station, had a skip teleporter, mainly because of the glitchiness of getting the 3rd and 4th Noble Nickel with that pathway and zero gravity failing. Shovel Knight didn't need it, thankfully it didn't have it. This one because it has the accursed Tornado Man platforms, the battery platforms. At least it's introduced in a safe environment initially, and it's going to gradually get harder and harder. Hopefully it's not as difficult as the platforms were placed in Mega Man 2.5D. Those were extremely painful to go through, oh my goodness. And at least we have access to the Rush Coil, Rush Shed, and Super Arrow, whereas in Windman, or should I say Tornado Man stage, in Mega Man 2.5D, we didn't have access to any of those. Damage boosting off of everything, really poor play from my part. Music seems quite nice though. I can't charge shot while on this battery platform. Let's see what his weakness is. No. Triple blade? Well, I suppose this works. And somehow the battery platforms keep flipping me around, even if I freeze time. Are those Grab Buster Joes? They look to be. And we have rain over here. Oh, by the way, there's one thing I remember about this stage, what I mentioned near the beginning of this part. In order to get the Noble Nickel here, the first one, you have to use the wheel cutter, and there's actually a hole in the wall here, which takes us to the Noble Nickel. But before that, I'm going to use an E-Tank because I'm not sure I'll be able to make it. And of course, somehow my jump button didn't register there. That's neat. That's actually a nice secret, of course. But of course, if you try accessing it from the right side, you can't. You have to do it from the left side. At the very least, the wall is suspiciously differently colored. And gradually the stage is getting more difficult. Remember, if I'm at the bottom of the battery platform when I jump off, I'll jump to the bottom, so I gotta be really careful of my positioning and so I don't embed myself in the spikes. I do like the tile set as well, and I do like the gradual introduction of the battery platforms, aka Tornado Man platforms. Slow and steady wins the race here, I suppose. Of course, I could just hit the easy button and just use something like Super Arrow. Easier said than done, though, especially because of segments like this. I got a lot of experience from this stage, or this type of gimmick, from my experiences in Mega Man 2.5D. Really scary there. Especially because I can get launched backwards a bit. Wait a minute, the floor down there looks a little bit suspicious, especially because we have a break here. I wonder. I was right, those were fake. I hope I win. Well, it's not as egregious as Arbade in the 81st place. I suffer from procrastination as well in some regards. That's why I started my level Conveyor Mayhem that late into the contest. Before I decide to select on Conveyor Mayhem, I actually had one or two more ideas for levels that I actually scrapped as well. There are a lot of ways you can take a dual-teamed Fire and Ice level, but I suppose it requires a bit of inspiration. And yes, the deadline was extended by 1 or 2 weeks, so that helped. Honestly, 2.5D wasn't that bad for me. I found it to be more fun than Mega Man Sunrise, and that was due to the less frustrating gimmicks or spikes, or less platform precision required. Although Tornado Man stage was really brutal. Really, the problem with the battery platforms was the combination of the wind gimmicks and the fact that hard mode, normal mode, and easy mode didn't really have as much difference on how difficult Tornado Man was. They can be made fun, but they're really finicky to work with. Not finicky, but really stressful to play around with. At least from my experiences. Alas, we got the second noble nickel from that exposure. Darn, I was hoping I could make that jump. Hopefully there's a checkpoint right over here. Oh, it's not here, it's in the before that segment. There probably should have been one after this one because this is a really dangerous segment to go through. And because I already did this segment, I'm just gonna rush jet my way across this. Let's see if I can get high enough and avoid all these spikes. Yep, I can. Thankfully the level author gave us the option of doing so. Otherwise this stage would become a lot more painful to go through. I'm not risking that. Of course, if I hit the ceiling with the Sakugarne on, I'll still die. It only protects me at the bottom. So far the stage has been more challenging, but it feels like a nice traditional Mega Man stage at the very least. And the battery platforms haven't been too bad. They haven't been mixed around with the rain gimmick. Whatever these Joes are called, Grabbuster Joes, they are introduced well as well. That was a really close jump over there. I didn't know if I was going to make it. Oh, hello, Junebug. Goodbye, Junebug. Are we going to have a boss fight? I really hope so we do. Especially with this climactic shudder. And we have, descending from the clouds, Voltman. And he does fit the lightning gimmick of this stage. And that was poorly named level, a stage that focused on the battery/Tornado Man platforms, as well as some windstorm gimmicks, or the stormy winds pushing us forward and back. Still, I like the stage a lot better than the Tornado Man stage from Mega Man 2.5D. BK Foy Pearl WWRP. I like the stage. I would say I like it slightly less than Shovel Knight did, but I prefer the stage gimmicks of that stage more than this one, more so than the actual quality. If anything, I would say this stage's quality was slightly better than Shovel Knight. There should have been one or two more checkpoints, but I believe I could complete the stage legitimately without using special weapons, unlike Mega Man 2.5D's version of Tornado Man. I keep referring back to that Tornado Man stage because that really made me hate the Tornado Man platforms. Extreme Precision Giruri? There are other stages that required more precision, like, for example, Megalondo. I tried doing most of the challenges using my Buster, and when I failed I just used a special weapon, specifically when I died ahead. That last room where I had to jump in that slide platform and instead I used a Sakugarne, that's really killer for me. And the Noble Nickels were rather sneaky as well. I got rather suspicious with the second one with the terrain over there. So that was poorly named level. Well, I won't be able to complete the tier in this part, and because I'm running low on time, I think I'll end it off here. But first, let's talk with Toadman. 2 red robots. That's a reference to the boss fight of Tier 4. I'll get to that as well as the final level of this tier in the next part. Well then, thanks for watching and have a nice day. Toodles!